can defer issuance of permanent bonds on this portion, on the remaining portion of the $650,000. Issue permanent debt on the expenses that we've incurred to date. We've opened the balance, and then in September of 2009, do a permanent bond.
Did we take out a ban for the full 650?
I believe we did, yes.
I think I'd like to avail ourselves of that opportunity. Permanent bonding on the, whatever it is, 576 plus.
Right.
Well, we're gonna have a major review of the CIP, at which point we'll get to look at it, the bigger picture, and
I just don't want this $74,000 lost in the equation of $73,000 done.
I understand that, concern. And the windows are the original windows, in case anyone judged them.
Around 1959 or 60.
I would think that the windows are a big thermal loss.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of the CIP, number 2 on is the guidelines for the annual capital improvement program, or CIP. They've been distributed to department heads. You have a copy of the memo that went out to the department heads. CIP requested we do that about the beginning of this month. I'll then sit down and review them with the department heads, establish a sense of priority, and come back to the board at its meeting on, hopefully on the 2nd of September, which is a Tuesday, but we'll get into the scheduling. I've got it as an additional item in my report. Make that presentation to the board and give you an opportunity to formalize your priorities so that they can be included in the motions and the warrant that gets printed and distributed to residents. So that implies that we'll go, I'll make that CIP presentation to you on the 2nd or thereabouts. Just an additional note, warrant articles for the October town meeting are due August 18th.
The October town meeting is on the 6th.
Business. Number 3, if I could move on in the packet, was a draft policy concerning solicitation and acceptance of donations. The policy, although it's quite wordy, provides for early and frequent consultation with town officials before departments seek private donations or engage in any type of fundraising activity. It's very much in the draft phase. However, if you feel that it's something that you would like to proceed with, what we can do is we can mark it up for first reading, and you can provide formal comments at that time. And I would think that the appropriate place for it to be would be incorporated within the Board of Selectmen's policies and procedures.
What I'd like to do is then put it on our agenda for a first reading at our next meeting, if that's...
Do we want to discuss it before we actually do the first reading, though?
Well, I mean, we discuss it as part of the first reading, and since we just got it tonight, I don't think anyone's had a chance to read through it.
No, I did. This was in my packet.
This was in our pack?
Yeah. I guess my only question is,
okay, then I
I
didn't read
noticed
it,
something
so.
that, oh, yeah. I just noticed something, Mr. Valiakonis, that was not in here, and I'm not saying it was left out. There was nothing that covered any group that was using the town of North Reading's name or title, or all you talked about was departments, you know what I'm saying? If you know what I'm saying?
I do. I appreciate your comments, Mr. Vino.
Yeah, that's why I figured,
Was it something that I hadn't thought of?
I mean, before something gets kind of formally written up, I think we should give Greg a little feedback, and the rest of the board, too.
Yeah, the only other thing, Mr. Chair, that I noticed too is that we're talking, this pretty much talks about donations, cash contributions. I also wanted to include, or have included, if we're going to go this far, as equipment and supplies also, as we can present it in front of us for informational purposes only, I guess, this evening. I mean, whereby some town departments, are offered upgraded equipment, like we had thermal imaging from Teradyne and those types of things, before the department goes out to start soliciting for things such as that. The board should be made aware of it, the administration should be made aware of it, instead of all of a sudden, hey, we're being offered this nice piece of equipment, which may or may not even fit into the game plan here, or if we were aware that someone's out actually offering something to the community, maybe the administration would have a different set of priorities as to what equipment is needed, rather than what the department wants.
Well, Greg, did you intend on the board taking action on this?
No, I merely, just wanted to see whether there was consent to move it forward. I appreciate the comments by Selectman O'Leary and Selectman Vino, and I'll make the appropriate changes so that when you see it, it'll include language that addresses those issues. Thank you.
It's very good, first cut at it.
Yeah.
Start.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Excellent, really, it's a step forward.
As you know, number 4, we have, the board has its annual review of municipal-owned land, which takes place in the timeframe of July to August every year. We are compiling the responses from town boards and committees and departments that are interested in using town land. And we've also received letters of interest that we've accumulated over the last 12 months from at least 5 individuals who will be interested in purchasing specific parcels. So what we'd like to do is package all of this information up. We'll go ahead and we'll provide notice to all of the residents who indicated interest in the parcels, invite them in and have a discussion on those and see whether the board has any interest in either selling those parcels or somehow deciding what the fate of those parcels would be.
Could you just highlight remember that parcel up on Central Street? I know the board opted not to, I think it was on a 3-2 vote, but, you know, the one up by the Little League field, where you've got a right of access by these 2 property owners, and swampland in between, which is the town-owned land. And we were looking for them to make us an offer on it when they already had a right of access anyway. To me, I just assumed for the cost of deeding it over to them, get it back on the tax rolls and deed it to the 2 property owners. We weren't able to come to an agreement on that previously, but I forget what number it is, 235.
Wasn't there a current board policy in the way of just granting it at this point?
I was willing to move to waive
To waive the
policy at that
policy.
particular point in time, because again, the parcel is of no use to anybody other than, actually really isn't of use to those 2 people. They just said it'd be nice to just even up their lots, and because they have access on Central Street, and they get this driveway, common driveway, and again, they were a little bit put out that we'd even consider looking for any money from them. And again, they were willing to pay, I think, the cost of transferring title and things of that nature. But to me, that type of an idea on those types of parcels, I think our policy should either be waived or modified to allow the board to do it.
What's the policy?
The policy is assessed value. It's supposed to be looking at assessed value on things. The assessed value on this parcel was absurd. It's basically swamp or wetland.
How do you get around the issue of having to go out to bid?
So you can still do that. But again, you don't necessarily have, the board does not have to, the board has to do what it believes in the town's best interest. You know, someone can come in and bid on it. It's not buildable. And you say, oh, I'm gonna give you $200 and for whatever reason.
No, but I'm saying if you're proposing giving it to somebody,
Well, no,
versus if we were going to sell it, we open it up for bid.
You still go out to bid just as we normally would, but their proposal would be, for the cost of transferring the land, they would cover it. And, which is basically what they were proposing. And, I think it was on a 3-2.
If someone comes along and buys the strip of land and puts its whole gate on there.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, they actually have all the right of egress and everything anyway. I really don't need it.
Yeah.
I guess I can agree with Mr. O'Leary in theory, but I can't agree to do it. And the reason being is, for instance, we had that gentleman down by the pond area who basically wanted that land
Yeah.
for free. And it's no good to anybody but him, and we weren't gonna give it to anybody for free.
Well,
So
that one had some value because there was other abutters who could have utilized it
Who
for
wanted it for
separate
free.
purposes. Right, but
Right.
that one there had some
Yeah.
intrinsic value. This doesn't.
I just can't give it away. I just
Oh,
can't
no, give it away, we're just gonna incur any costs.
Yeah.
Transfer it.
No, I can't, well, I personally can't do that,
Saves you money and you put it back on
because
the
we
tax
turn
rolls.
those people down too, so.
Okay, well, we're not gonna make those
Yeah.
No,
decisions
but, okay,
tonight.
but I just wanted,
yeah.
as we're doing that, we might wanna recontact these people, if there's an interest in the majority of the board to take a look at things
Well,
like that.
you know, when I look at the, each year we've done this review, there's little pieces of land that you're talking about that would be nice just to put back on the tax roll, right? And at least there'd be some revenue generated from it. And we're in this midst of looking for new sources of revenue. So certainly that would help us. There's also some larger parcels of land that we might want to consider, so. And, you know, do we want to have a review of that too? Now, we tend to focus on, okay, well, we've done the reviews in the past, right? The attitude has been, we're not really selling any town-owned land. What we're really doing is looking at what department needs are. So we haven't been very proactive in selling any of the town-owned land.
No, and if we had some town-owned land that was potentially buildable, I don't see why the town wouldn't go ahead and get it permitted anyway and then sell it.
Well,
Right, and, but we've never been of the mindset to do so.
well, we may need to as we approach 2010.
I can tell you this, it is an item that the Financial Advisory Committee is looking at. They want a survey of all town-owned land, come back with a recommendation.
So again, if they're not already looking at it, I guess they already are. The town suggested that maybe if they think it's worthy of consideration, that the town should go out and permit the property, which again increases the value before you go out, make someone else jump through the hoops. And then you know exactly what's gonna happen on that parcel because you permitted for a specific purpose.
Mhm.
For single family lot or for commercial, whatever.
Any other comments? So you'll be presenting that to us.
I will, and just a quick review of the maps that are associated with the parcels where people have indicated an interest. There is one that's a fairly large piece, 6.3 acres. So someone has indicated an interest in a parcel total of 6.3 acres. Get what that person has to say. Okay. The others are small.
So your intention is to invite these people in to talk about it, or?
Not
Yeah.
initially. If the board indicates that there's a desire to proceed with perhaps
Yeah.
offering them for sale, then we'll lose invite them in the second phase.
Okay,
But
you're
initially
gonna share that with us first, then,
Yes.
before?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. You'll get copies.
Okay, next item.
Next item is a report from the DPW director on activity associated with the Berry Center. You have a copy of a report from Mr. Hanlon that's been included in your packet. And we would ask that you make special note on the back. There's a section entitled B Lowell Road, and you'll note that there is a distance issue that's been brought to the town's attention involving site distance. It's been forwarded to Lincoln Properties. It appears as though there are some problems with site distances with cars turning onto Lowell Road, and that the site distances may be inadequate. So, that's an issue that the town engineer is investigating with Lincoln Properties. And there may need to be some additional work done on here to improve the site distances. In addition to that, the board had previously asked for a status report on the number of units. And there are 10 residential buildings out there, apartment buildings. 7 out of the 10 are complete. Those 10 buildings comprise 240 units. 196 out of the 240 units are presently occupied. There are an additional 166 units that would remain to be completed in the 3 buildings that are still undergoing construction at this time. So it's 166 units that would remain. And again, the most important statistic is that 196 out of the 240 units are presently occupied.
Greg, I meant to ask this of Dave this afternoon. Did he know what those that have rented, how many are 1-bedroom versus 2s?
We'd have to do some research on that.
I think we should have it for our